Hey everyone, I'm Marty Biron, and you're watching Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
You all right, Nas, down there? You all right?
Whoa, whoa. Hey, don't go there, Riggs. Oh, man. Don't go there. Oh, man. Welcome back to Nasty Knuckles.
We're live.
We are live.
Oh, we're live.
That's why I said,
Just want to make sure. Whoa.
We're live. Oh, man, we're kidding around. Our poor, our good friend, Tim Saunders, who's unbelievable, one of the best play-by-play guys in the NHL, had an unfortunate incident last night with, the hot mic.
Sometimes the Flyers get a sense of urgency when they're playing from behind. Now they're going to take the TV timeout. We'll take it as well. 7 gone in the third. It's 3-2 Buffalo on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network. Bump it up, it up, it up, it up. While you're down there, would you mind blowing me?
I think we're still on the air, Tim. No, we're not, are we?
It's happened to so many people. It wasn't even,
Honest mistake.
It really was just guys being stupid, being funny, and I got caught. So they suspended him 2 games, which
2 games suspy. I didn't think that was a thing in the media space.
I didn't either. I don't agree with it, but I guess in today's world, it is what it is. So Tim will be back. He's our good buddy, and just having some fun with him.
Yeah, I wonder if the producer got 2 games as well, because he's the
well,
one
they should have
shutting that down.
Supposed to be hitting the mute, right?
The old mute button.
And doesn't it?
Claire?
I thought it was like 6 seconds late too. Don't they have a button to hit or something? I don't know. I've never really worked on live TV, so I don't know. But anyway, Flyers lost a tough one last night. You're hoping to get those points, although Buffalo's been hot. They've won 4 straight. We'll get into that a little bit with our guest today. But since we last met, Riggs, the Flyers have gone 1-1-2. And those two overtime losses in the shootout to Carolina, it sucks losing those games, but at the same time, around game 70, when you did get those points, maybe it makes a difference, and it could make a difference that you didn't get the 2 as well, instead of just the 1. But they're hard fought games.
Yeah.
They were in the games, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Just didn't get the bounces, and we've been great in shootouts. Maybe I shouldn't have said that last week to Richie. We ended up losing, but big bounce back win in Montreal the other night. I thought that was a really good game. And last night, I'm not sure really what's going on. Again, there's never an easy game. We talk about that all the time. And Buffalo's been on a bit of a heater here. Yep. So tough one to lose. Just jump back on it and try to get a win on Saturday.
Yep, that's the plan. Yeah, I think they're, the Buffalo situation's interesting. They got their own little, say energetic streak going on based on whatever you want to call the internal, changes that are happening there. Alex Lyon wanting to play his game against his former team, trying to show them up. It's just, how it goes. But the Flyers are overall playing pretty damn good brand of hockey.
Yes.
They're finding ways to stay in games, to win games, collect points, as you're mentioning. But I don't see anything to be concerned about besides maybe Tyson Foerster being out for 5 months.
huge blow to the team. And I thought since it's happened, the boys have responded well, but let's be honest, I'm sure Danny's on the phones. You have to. He's done for the year. It looks like basically.
Yeah.
So
That's a tough guy to replace, right? There's no
I'm not
Tyson
saying,
Foersters,
yeah,
growing on trees, but
yeah,
if you find
exactly.
something, in that dimension of, effort, skill, compete, just swagger. I mean, we talked about him every week.
Yeah,
It seemed
yeah.
like we talk about him and his pool skimmer stick and the way he just gets involved, forecheck, shoots the puck, plays the game the right way. He's on pace for 40. Huge blow for the Flyers, and obviously himself personally, but yeah, I don't know how long you can go. I had this conversation actually the other day on Snow the Goalie. Like they were talking about how long do you drag it out just to observe, the chemistry and who can kind of fill in some of the, fill in the spot here. But that's a tough one. That's a tough.
It is
That's a
tough.
tough one.
You're probably not going to, but I think Danny. I think Danny had spoken on this a little bit at the beginning of the year. They're hoping to add this year instead of subtract, right? And if they keep playing the way they're playing, they should be in one of those spots, whether it be a wild card position or in the top 3 there, because it changes daily with these teams. They're so tight in the East. You win 2 in a row, you've bumped up 2 spots almost.
That's right.
So hopefully they keep going, like you said. I don't really see a huge concern right now. They're playing hard. They're in the games. It's tough to lose that one last night, but again, Buffalo's been playing well and they're finding ways to win. They threw Alex back in net, our good friend Alex Lyon, and he's played really well. So run into a hot goalie, and a team that's really desperate. Just changed the GM. Things are kind of up in the air, which they have been since 2012. Not
Yeah.
that we kid around a lot about Buffalo, but it's been a mess, and hopefully Jarmo coming in, which our guest will get into that a little bit. He's been there all year, so he's seen what's going on. So it's probably easier position for him to jump in once, because he's followed the team all year. He's been there, so that should help.
Yeah, and it's one of those interesting situations to be in where, obviously you're evaluating the players, but the coaching staff, and when things don't, go your way, it's generally the coach. But all of a sudden, you string a few games to get, a few wins together, and all of a sudden, we got to pump the brakes here, and maybe got to be patient and let things sort themselves out. So seems like where the Buffalo Sabres are at right now with their season and and probably how they're going to move ahead and the moves they're going to make internally there. But never short of drama there in Buff.
No, never.
Whatever it is there, Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi.
You'll understand that later, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, things will shake out as they should.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to be able to fill in there for Foerster's shoes if they have to go and make a deal. But that Carl Grundstrom's really stepped in and done a hell of a job making an impact. You talk about young guys getting an opportunity. He's one of those guys that stepped in and absolutely taking advantage of the opportunity. So I don't know what your thoughts are on what you're seeing there.
Yeah, I mean, he's played 7 games, but he's got 4 points, 3 goals. Every time the puck's, he's put in a spot to score, everybody's like, oh, well, great pass, but you still got to bury it. People don't understand how many times guys miss open nets, but he's got 3 goals and 1 assist, and he's a plus player too. I think he's a +3 in the 7 games, which is I love those. I love plus minus, but I know sometimes it's not really fair. But I think he's played great. Is he going to replace Tyson? Probably not, but it is a nice thing to have where you call a kid in and he steps in and he's putting points on the board for you.
Yeah, I guess playing above Gabrankin, it's just one of those opportunities that you put a guy in and you take advantage and you find the back of the net a few times. You're going to earn your keeps. You're going to keep coming back into the lineup there. So
yeah, for sure.
The other thing you mentioned is Zamula cleared waivers, Nast.
Yeah, I saw that. That's my boy. I love him.
I know.
But hopefully he can get down there and play, because he wasn't getting to play too much. So hopefully it's better for him in the long run.
Yep. And then obviously that was naturally occurring as Cam York and Risto landed up back in the lineup there. So it's a nice addition getting those guys back. Unfortunately, you got to create some space. What are your thoughts there, Nast?
Yeah, I mean, you knew something. I think we talked about it the other day, and I was with a few of the guys last week, and I was kind of asking them, "What do you think is going to happen?" They're like, "Well, fortunately, someone's got to get put on waivers to go to Lehigh, and it ended up being Z." So, I mean, it's just it's the way it works, right? Like numbers.
That's it.
So hopefully for Zamula, he goes down there and gets to play a ton, and it helps him. And you know how this league is. He could be back tomorrow.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, something you don't want any injuries, obviously, but anything can happen.
Yep. And this is the nature of the business, right? I mean, it's the margins for, I don't even say error in this case. It's just like the depth of teams, right? And guys get hurt. You fill in, you create some space, you play well, you kind of earn your keeps, but then those guys come back and you have to kind of find some space for these new guys or for these guys to come back in. And unfortunately, in this case, you got to throw them on waivers. And but that's just the nature of the beast. And wish them the best and just keep just keep improving, keep playing, getting the reps, and it sorts itself out down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
Nasty. We are 11 spots away from a sellout. Let's play 3v3, 3v3 throwdown at Iceline, December 31st.
Can't wait. 9 a.m. to 3. All the spots they'll probably be filled by today. It's amazing. Great turnout. It's awesome, man. So pumped for it.
Oh, yeah. We also have a little announcement. We're bringing in Dave the Hammer Schultz as our live guest on Nasty Knuckles.
Yes. Can't
December
wait.
31st. I'm not sure the time yet. It'll be in the morning sometime there.
Yep.
But the Hammer will be there, live pod. He brings some books, talking about his and advocating for his new book that he's recently launched. So have some fun with that. And also, Nasty, we're going to be up in the rapid shot.
Yes.
In method hockey with the Tovies. You're bringing some Tovies in. You're going to rip some pucks. What do we got?
That's right. Tovie hockey. We're bringing them in. Let the puck flies off that stick, the Diamond Air technology, Riggs. You know it. I know it. We got a lot of guys in NHL with sticks in their hands, and no one can deny the fact that the puck flies off this stick. So we're still working to get the first guy, but once we do, I know it's going to fall like dominoes. All the R&D put in by everyone at Tovie Hockey is amazing. So pretty excited about it.
Oh, yeah, and working from the ground up, he brings some Tovie Ravens in, the youth hockey sticks with a couple flexes there, Nast.
Yes, exactly. Yep. We're bringing in the Raven because of the age group, right? Like there's a lot of guys that, it's a lower flex stick, but it's very, very popular with the kids. So can't wait to watch them fire the puck with it. So many people stopped me and mentioned it and messaged us. It's going to be a great day.
It is. I think we're ready to,
and many more to come of those too.
Many more to come.
We're working on that. Yep.
Oh yeah, and potentially not potentially, it's going to happen. We're just locking down the date. Adult.
Yes.
3v3 tourney.
Yes.
Adult
exactly.
3v3. Let's play 3v3. So looking forward to that. Lots to come down the pipe. But we're ready to rock here. Episode 220. Their good friend Marty Biron.
Marty Mar, let's go.
Presented to you by our good friends at Camden Apothecary. Driving hours outside of the city for your cannabis makes no sense when Camden Apothecary is just 5 minutes from Center City. It's right over the Ben Franklin Bridge. Easy to get to, no crazy wait times, and they've got everything you'd expect from a solid dispensary. Top shelf product from the brands people actually want. You can walk in or order ahead online if you already know what you want. They keep the process simple, the shelves stocked, and the vibes chill. Locally owned, no corporate weirdness, just a real shop run by people who care about the product and the community. They're open 7 days a week, right off 676 at 1205 Haddon Avenue in Camden, New Jersey, with a huge parking lot. Hit up CamdenApothecary.com to check out the menu or place an order. Again, that's Camden Apothecary, real close, real solid. All right, welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. This week, we got our good buddy, former teammate, living in Buffalo, beautiful Buffalo, where there's no snow, Riggs.
I know.
Former first-round pick, number 16 overall, back in 95, the NHL entry draft. Our good buddy, Martin Biron. Marty, what is up, brother?
Miss you guys. Last time I saw you, Nasty, you were actually in Buffalo in a hockey tournament. You came to a Sabres game, and Riles, I haven't seen you in forever. I think maybe one of the alumni event in Philly, but I'll tell you, I still recall it. And my son just got home from college, right, today. And I remember he was probably 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, and he's walking around the locker room, and he's like, good game, Carter. Good game, Richards. Good game, Danny. And then he goes to you and he goes, hey, Riles, why don't you score a goal once in a while? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like here's a 4-year-old. Like, stay away, bud. Like, that's
so
not
good.
job,
Why don't you score a goal?
Well, it's a great question. It's a great question. I'm still asking myself
that's
that.
Not my job. That's not my job. The other guys will do it. He's like, oh, okay, I got it.
Oh man,
That's
great question. Yeah, wise beyond his years, right?
But someone must have been saying that at home.
No, I think that
I'm just kidding.
The amount of time that Danny Briere got my kid Jacob to do some crazy things in the locker room, and his son, because he had the 3 boys, right? And
of course.
I remember I was in the shower one time after a game, and I could hear Jacob's voice, and I'm like, Jacob, where are you? He goes, I'm swimming. I'm like, what do you mean you're swimming? And he goes, he was in that big hot tub off the shower at the
Yeah.
And Danny was like, yeah, go ahead, Jacob. And so Jacob took all his clothes off and jumped in the hot tub and was swimming in the pool. Like, I'm like, come on.
Oh, my
His mom didn't love it when he got out of there and he was all wet. He was
sure.
Yeah, no shit. It's great, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
buddy.
memories.
Good memories, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Marty,
how you been, Marty? How you been, man? It's been a minute.
Busy, obviously, the season. So I cover the Sabres full time. But I also do stuff in Canada, TSN. I do some French stuff, RDS in Montreal. A lot of it from home, but last night the Sabres played the Flyers. So usually that's a game I would cover, but it was ESPN, so I don't have to do it. I was actually in Toronto working a Montreal Canadiens game. But I was watching it, and when I got back home, I rewatched parts of it and everything. So it's busy, but it's fun. I got 2 kids that are out of high school. Jacob's at West Point playing college hockey with
awesome.
Roxy Jonesy.
Jonesy, my boy.
Doing good as a freshman there. And then my daughter, after she competed through, the equitation stuff, equestrian stuff, she came back to home for school for 1 semester, and now I have no idea what she's doing second semester. And I've got 2 left in high school, but a senior and a sophomore, they're doing great. So everybody's good. I'm busy. I love it busy, and but I love listening to you guys and what you do, and that's great. So I'm happy to be on and put in my little Flyers alumni.
Yes,
represent.
Good.
I love it. I love it. First of all, wait. While you're down there, Marty, I'm not saying.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, so we have to ask you this because, first of all, you're on live all the time.
Yes.
So our good buddy Tim Saunders, just unfortunate. It's us guys being guys, right? Thinking no one else is here, and it's like being in the locker room. You say stupid shit, funny shit. Everybody's laughing until the red light's still on.
Yeah.
Until the red light's still on. Have you ever had any boo-boos like that where you just didn't know, or luckily you haven't?
Luckily, I haven't yet. I did say, I think I said shit on the air a little bit ago, and I was shooting the shit or something like that. And then, but it was during the afternoon, our Sabres live show, and it's on radio. And it was well, if somebody caught it, they'll beep it, right? Because it's 30-second delay. Nothing on TV. But here's the thing. I've had a chance to work with some amazing people, and I always need that reminder. I remember Gino Reda at TSN, we'll be just sitting this, right? And you'll be like, oh, don't, Artie. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, good. There's people listening. There's always a recording device. There's always something. Now, I'll say this, I always wait. And if my producer tells me we're clear, we're in break or whatever, then it's oh, okay. Then it's man, they suck today or whatever.
Yeah.
You're saying
right.
But
being honest.
Until I hear we're clear, we're off the air, or sometimes the cough button, right? The mute button, I'm or unplugging my mic or whatnot to say something. But like for poor Timmy, like he's making a joke, and I get it. Like it's obviously 2025 and it's different.
Yeah.
But and then right after, right, they're like, I think we're still on the air, and then there's a
Yeah.
nervous laugh, like, oh boy.
You're right away. Yeah.
Hear this, and it's going to be replayed on social media. So I love him. You know
I
what?
do
He's
too.
a pro.
He is a pro. He's a pro.
And you know,
days off, and they'll be right back.
Yeah. He'll
poor
bounce
guy
back.
too. Everyone in the world finds it funny except him, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's rattled, a poor guy. Like I feel bad for him. Obviously, he's a great
I remember
guy.
he did. I don't know. Does he still do baseball in the summer too? Because I remember he was doing that single A or double A right underneath the bridge there in across from Philly or whatever. But I remember Camden, and I remember going to one of the games one time in the off season, and then I went in the booth with him and we talked baseball on the air, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I work with Kenny Alberts and Sam Rosen in New York and whatnot, and I'm like, these guys can do baseball and hockey and lacrosse. Like JJ, it can do everything. Like it's amazing that they are so good at it, and that's why he's been doing it for so long. But a little boo-boo, and you move on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Little rough patch. Yeah, he'll bounce back. I mean, that's a long stretch that he's gone. If you say in a flawless manner, you know what I mean? Because you never hear anything negative about the guy. He's really good at his job. Right, he's a professional, as you mentioned, and this shit happens. I mean,
even like I was just looking at comments too on one of the things I saw it on, and they're just like, "Come on, like relax," But it's some people.
Although, like I have to do HR training with the organization in Buffalo, and I remember doing Say Sports when I coached and everything, and then we go through these situations, like. And sometimes I feel like I'm back in the locker room, right? I'm in studio, I'm watching the game, and we're having this talk, and I'm dropping F-bombs and talking and whatever. But I have to also remember, like, look, there's a group of people in the control room, men, women, older, younger. Like, I some of my words could offend somebody. I got to be careful. Like, it's not locker room where I'm with my 20 buddies.
Yeah.
So you always have to be careful. I get that. But this one, I chuckled a little bit when I heard him saying it. I'm like, okay. Because I'd seen the release by the Flyers first, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah,
and then I Googled it and saw it. So it made me chuckle a little.
I know. One of our Riley, my friends, Dana, she texts us and goes, was he talking to a girl? We're like, no, he's talking to Fridge. It's like it's a joke we probably do all the time. Hey, why are you down there?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You're still on the air, Tim.
Yeah, I know Fridge. And Fridge, he's probably just giving.
Oh yeah,
he's just dying.
Yeah, tough bounce.
Yeah, tough bounce. Well, he'll be back.
Talking about Fridge, does he still have his X-ray of his face in the medical room at the training center?
I don't think they have it, but I know he has one. Someone has it on their phone. Is that the picture of his phone?
Well, I think it's his X.
That's what it is.
It is the X-ray of his face, and it's like
Terminator.
A plate, a screw, a this, and it's oh my God, like this is a tough.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so Marty, obviously you were just talking about the game last night. Buffalo's won 4 straight.
Yeah.
Which is great for them. We obviously had a change with the GM again. Kevin Adams was relieved. You bring in Jarmo, who's I've heard a lot of really good things about him. Obviously, he was in Columbus for a long time, and I'm not sure if you know him, but we're like hearing rumors about maybe the coach, like Lindy being in trouble. And I got to tell you, Elliot told us that he's hearing Babcock coming in. Yeah, Elliot Johnson, our Zamboni driver at the rink, was telling me that.
I see. That's Friedman you're talking about.
Not Fridge. No, not Fridge. No, Elliot Johnson.
Inhaling all that
Zamboni
fumes.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of fumes.
Even if Babcock was around coaching, let's remember the saga when Babcock left Detroit and the Pagulas wanted him in Buffalo, and he used the Pagulas to rise the ante, and then he ended up signing that big deal in Toronto to coach. And the Paboos were really upset at being used that way. And Bilesma ended up coaching in Buffalo after. But even if Babcock had won 5 Stanley Cups in the last 5 years and was available, I don't think they'd do it.
Yeah.
No way.
Obviously, I was also going to say we were obviously kidding about that, but Teddy Nolan, bring him back for a third stint.
Third time's the charm.
Lindy, he's been around a few times, but there has honestly been a little bit of talk about Torts.
Yes.
Coming in.
Well, obviously. So Jarmo got hired in the offseason, and I think when there's a guy, he's the CEO of the Bills and the Sabres, Pete Goalie, came in and, kind of evaluated everything and said, Kevin Adams is the GM. That's good. Terry Pagula really trusted Kevin Adams, but we need a little bit more experience. So let's start a search, for an advisor. And they interviewed a ton of people and they settled on Jarmo Kekalainen. So they hired him as the senior advisor. And then they had about a 6-month interview process, seeing how he works with Kevin. Not that was the replacement for Kevin Adams. They really wanted to help Kevin succeed. And they brought him in. Obviously the start of the season didn't go as well as they wanted to. And they felt that change was needed, but they had that 6-month interview process. So now Jarmo comes in and he says, I'm going to evaluate every aspect of the organization. And he probably has already had a head start on that. He's not just coming in and shaking things up. He's been watching for 6 months.
For sure.
So is Lindy Ruff and the coaching staff where you got to start? Well, obviously, when your team is not winning, you're going to look at, the players, or do we have the right players? Do we not have the right players? What it needs to be done there? But as Glenn Sater used to always say in New York, he goes, you guys, I can't get rid of all 20 of you. But what I can do is fire the coach. Right. And we'd be like, okay, Glenn, seriously. But that's true. So what is Jarmo going to do? Winning is going to make this coaching staff and everything fine, right? They went 0-3 on the first 3 games of the road trip out west. And then they finish the road trip with 3 straight wins. They come home with a win. They've got a game tomorrow against the Islanders, Sunday against the Devils, and Tuesday against Ottawa. Who knows? You take that to 7-game winning streak, nobody's going to be talking about Lindy Ruff during the holiday break. You lose the next 3, everybody's going to be talking about Lindy Ruff. They talked about John Tortorella last night on ESPN and all of that. I don't think Torts would be the guy, but Torts and Jarmo have a relationship. So anyway, winning is going to settle things. Losing is going to bring more noise.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
For sure.
Always does, right? It's the same old story. Yeah, same old story. It'd be interesting how that one shakes out.
Starting goaltenders, right? They go in hand. You can't make a save, you're going to be traded. Look at Samuel Montembeault in Montreal. He's in the minors playing conditioning games. Couldn't stop a puck. But there was also some, Marty Biron's job isn't safe. Well, why? Because your goalie can't save a puck. Well, Alex Lyon, you guys know him. Last night, it kept the team in the game for the Sabres. The Flyers dominated the first half of the game, and it allowed the Sabres to come back. But look at what Vladar's been able to do. Without Vladar this year, is Rick Tocchet being seen as, hey, this is a good start for Tocchet in Philly, right? Vladar's been good. Urson's been good enough, but Vladar's been really good.
Really good, yeah.
He has been. He's, Marty, has been, a goal in the NHL for so long. Some saves are timely, and he's made a ton. Riles always brings it up. He just, where they're on their heels, and he comes up with a huge save, and boys kind of regroup. But he's done that so much this year, and he's obviously having a great year. I don't know.
The boys love him, right?
Yeah, right.
I remember when I was in Philly, with Nitty. Nitty had won with you guys with the Phantoms and everything. Guys love Nitty. They played hard for him. I was coming in, and obviously I didn't know everybody, but I feel like we had a great thing going. The thing with Vladar, though, and that's a debate I have with hockey people and goalie people all the time is, size. What is the ideal size for a goalie? What's the difference between a 6'4" goalie and a 6-foot goalie? And a lot of it is the game is so quick that in these timely moments, sometimes you need that extra 2 inches of legs, of arms, of body, right? That's going to make a save that looks like, man, he got lucky. But you know what? Size matters. Now, that's not everything. like UC Saros was really good for a long time, and he's barely 6 foot. There has been some smaller goalies, but you have to be like excelling at something completely like
highly athletic,
super fast.
Yeah.
But Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, you're looking at Hellebuck, you're looking at, those guys that are big goalies fill the net. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does.
For sure.
Yeah, and you know what? You mentioned like Tocchet getting credit for having Vladar play the way he has, but I mean, look at like Danny B's offseason moves. Obviously Vladar, like all three of them, he nailed, and they're all have proven to be above and beyond anything like any of the fans could imagine. From Zegras to Dvorak, which so he's impressed me. I didn't know much about him, and then Vladar, man, it's just like everything you're saying. It's just Flyers have had slow starts, and he's keeping them in the games, and they're generating some life force and finding ways to hang in there and win some of these games. But I mean, it's amazing the energy that's cultivated when you do have those early saves.
Well, I mean, obviously Zegras is having a great start, and I always knew the talent was there. It's just him and the coaching staff in Anaheim really didn't go well. There was some oil and vinegar. It didn't mix. It was bad. And now he goes to Philly. He's getting a different opportunity. But the skill set, like that goalie had scored, it was him to Sonny Milano, like the pass over the net, the Holly hoop. That was in Buffalo. I saw it. Live,
that's right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like the skill set on these guys and Zegras especially. But you could see that he has such a high ceiling. And he's already surpassed the point total from last year that he had. It's amazing. Dvorak, if he's your top line center, but he could be down. So I think there's some adjustment that needs to be made with, obviously there's some injuries and that hurts the Flyers right now, but maybe there's a move to say, hey, we need to shore up the middle of the ice and not have Dvorak your top line center. That's good too. But you talk about Rick Tocchet. So yesterday I show up to the morning skate, and I walked through where the hallway is for the locker rooms, and Talk is on the computer. He's got it on like the garbage can outside the room, and he's having one-on-one with some of the guys to like show them clips. Look at it. I didn't want to hang around, but I was like, can I listen in on this as I'm walking by? Because that's great. Like having that time as the head coach. A lot of times it's the assistant coaches that will do that. But the head coach doing that, that's I think he's really putting in the time and the work, and that's why he is one of the better coach in the NHL right now.
Sorry for the quick break, but all of you sports fans are going to love this. Riggs, I'm not sure if I told you or not, but GT Wholesale just moved to Haddonfield, New Jersey. They've been around since the 90s, which we know as the East Coast distributor for Rydell Sports, bringing you the official NFL helmets and college football helmets.
But that's not all, is it, Nast?
No, it is not, buddy. They actually have tons of things on their website. They have tons of NHL hockey pucks, a whole lot more for sports fans everywhere. A lot of our buddies are going on there, checking it out. It's unbelievable. Check out gt-wholesale.com. And do not forget to use coupon code NASTY for 15% off of your order. Again, it's gt-wholesale.com. Unbelievable website, so easy to use, and the stuff's amazing.
Can you talk about, you mentioned Zegras, obviously, his time in Anaheim, and you could argue he was immature, right? I mean, a young guy with high-level skill, the way he carries himself for veteran guys might seem like he's a little bit careless, but I think he's matured, obviously stepped into some bit of a leadership role here in Philly. Talk about like that time it takes some of these guys to develop, learn what they can do, what they can't do, how to adjust to the game, and what you've seen over the years with guys similar to Zegras. Yeah,
well, it's funny because when you look at goaltending, they always say, you know what, he's 26, 27, and he's a young goalie because it takes time. And some players will at 2021 be as mature as a pro as like Sidney Crosby, like for example. He was 20 he looked like a 40-year-old guy in the locker room, and that not look body wise, but like focus wise and commitment wise. And for Trevor Zegras, it felt like it was more like let's be flashy. And there wasn't, and that was Anaheim before now, but there wasn't a big like commitment to winning. It was like, let's rebuild. But at some point, like John Gibson was completely like, get me out of here for, almost every time, like it would get to the trade deadline and he was playing well and he wasn't getting traded the rest of the year. Like he was terrible. And look at what he's doing in Detroit right now. Like, I think that there was a culture that didn't really work. And, Verbeek and Quenneville changed that, but Zegras was one of those guys that, and Gibson maybe like were, the victim of it. Like we don't want you anymore. But there's going to be teams, and Detroit and Philly are two that are going to say, we'll take that. And that happens a lot in the league. Like, I'm not saying you give up too soon on a player, but maybe it doesn't fit for you anymore. And that's great. Go have success somewhere else. Don't be bitter because there's people in Buffalo that are bitter because Eichel went to Vegas and won a cup, and Reinhart went to Florida and won 2, and Montour won a cup, and Ryan O'Reilly won the Conn Smythe and won a cup. Well, you know what? Like, there was different situations for every one of those. Ryan O'Reilly was basically like disgusted by his own play, and it was like he wanted a new change of scenery. Perfect. You know what? The Sabres got Tage Thompson out of it. Okay.
Exactly.
Jack Eichel, he had the neck issue, and the Sabres didn't want him to get a disc replacement. They wanted him to have a fusion. He wanted disc replacement. They had a big, but they got Alex Stuck out of it and paid Krebs in a first-round pick. Sam Reinhart, well, you ended up with Devin Levi, and Levi is still working, but there was different situations for him. Good. They all succeeded. Don't be scared of making moves because they all succeeded. And Anaheim is fine, and the Flyers are loving Zegras, and that's totally fine for everybody.
Maybe talk to Matvei Michkov, obviously taking a step back this year and looking to find his game.
So the thing with Michkov that, like I do a lot of Montreal Canadiens coverage, and I think Demidov is kind of like in that same boat as that. They're so skilled and they have all the tools. It's just trying to bring it all together, right? And they're so young and they're so excited to be able to show it off, but are they making the right plays? Like, every time you touch the puck, you may have 4 or 5 options. Like, one of them is a safe. One of them is you're taking a chance. One of them is don't do it. One of them is, whatever. Like, so are you taking the right option? And a perfect example was, I love that he has that edge to him a little bit. Yeah. And you will see it more. Like when he attacked the net and ran into the goalie, like, I'm like, take the puck to the net. Whatever. Like, I mean, maybe you bumped into the goalie once or twice. Whatever. Take it to the net. It's not just skills on the perimeter. And I think as he gets more and more comfortable, it will be there. And again, like as Rick Tocchet and the coaching staff spend more time with him and explain the game, like I think it's all going to be like spectacular when it's all put together in Philly.
Yeah. What are you seeing? Because we kind of talked about Zegras, like, when he was in Anaheim, like what you can and can't do, kind of figuring out the NHL game. Like, what are you seeing? Because, I mean, to me, it's like he's just – obviously, we know we came into the training camp with, some level of an injury and a little bit out of shape and all that stuff. But he just doesn't have, like, that pop, that jump that you'd expect from, a highly elite player. Maybe it's just part of the injury. What are you seeing?
Well, I think that missing training camp at a young age or missing some time in training camp or not being able to train – the way you want, or maybe not putting in the time in the gym, right? That's another thing too.
All right. You may have heard of HelloFresh. They're the #1 meal kit in America, making home cooking easier with chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. But this fall, they're serving up even more love. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. Nast, it is.
I'll tell you what it is, Riggs. It's healthier, and that's something I needed. Feel great with an even healthier menu. Choose from 15+ high-protein recipes each week with options like grass-fed ribeyes or lamb chops, the old choppers. They're so good.
You love the chops.
I do. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies per dish, Riggs.
Oh, yeah. You love your surf and turf.
I
Savor
do.
the season with hearty fall recipes like classic beef chili, honey glazed pork tenderloin, and get your steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost.
The best way to cook just got better, Riggs. Go to HelloFresh.com/NastyKnuckles10FM now to get 10 free meals and a free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discounts on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/NastyKnuckles10FM to get 10 free meals plus breakfast for life.
Brekkie for life. Let's go, Nast.
Woo!
Guys sometimes don't really know what they need, right? And you say, like, the first few years, you start to work out a certain way, and then you start to understand how you need to prepare on and off the ice, like the nutrition. The amount of McDonald's I ate my first few years in the league, like, dude, like it was.
Marty, you ate $1.45.
Exactly. It wasn't
needed to
catching up
eat.
to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was lucky for that. But there are others that, it's not the same thing. So,
Right.
So you've got to learn that, and you have to have good role models to be able to do it around you, to learn from, right? I think that Sean Couturier being healthy is great for the team. Like, is he at the same level he was 7-8 years ago? No. Like, we used to talk about Couturier as Patrice Bergeron, Anze Kopitar.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's not there, but he's still a veteran leader, right?
Yeah.
So, and maybe when they lost Claude Giroux, that they lost a little bit of that, like that veteran leadership, and others. But now it seems to be coming back. Like the Konechny, the Couturier, the Sanheim, like Risto being back in the line. I love Risto. I saw him yesterday. I love him. He's such a good dude. He works hard. I asked him how many hot dogs after the Montreal win, and he goes, "Game's changed, Marty. No hot dogs in the locker room after that win." I'm like, that's brutal. But
that is brutal.
Taking care of the body. He's looking.
Taking care of the body.
Taking care of the body.
Yeah.
But, so a guy like Michkov's got to learn that and learn that.
He does.
It's, you're getting paid. It's not 82 games a year. It's 365 days a year. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nasser.
No, I was just going to say, you just reminded me of something that happened, Marty, when we were playing in Buffalo, and Hexy he was on the guys about their diets, which, some needed it. And he was really dialed in with that. So he kind of had a rule, like, if you don't win in Buffalo, you don't get wings and pizza.
Okay.
If you don't win, in Montreal, like, he didn't want the hot dog. So he didn't make the trip. And I don't know if we lost. We must have lost in overtime, or maybe we did win, but he needed to have it ran by him that, hey, we won the game. I'm pretty sure we won, actually. And, I believe it was Taryn Hatcher was interviewing one of the guys live on and one of the boys walked by with a big slice, having it. Hexy called the training staff, the training room right away.
Get out of here.
He's like, you guys didn't ask. And he's like, I think he tried, like, whatever they said. They tried to say one of the guys went ahead and said it was okay, but that just made me laugh because you get no wings if you don't win. So there was one time we ordered them, because we don't know if we're going to win or not, right? Like, Keith has to put that order in down there in the visiting room. Yeah. And so I remember looking at Harry. I'm like, we ain't going to be able to eat all these wings, bro, because we had to move them out of the room so we didn't get in trouble. But anyway, it's nice that Risto's back. That's helping the Flyers.
What's funny, too, is that, food, right? Like, you got to be careful. And well, back in the days, it would be like a few beers after the game and whatever. And who cares? Like, you get on the bike the next day and you'd burn it off, right? It's not like that anymore. But guys still have their cheat kind of type of food. And you go into Buffalo, the wings, and you go, into Montreal, the hot dogs. You go into Philly, you got to get some cheesesteaks in there. And so we had Matthias Samuelsson on our show after the morning skate yesterday. And we asked him a question. We put a poll out there, and we said, you can only have one of those Philly things. The Rocky movies, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, cheesesteak, or the Jersey Shore. And Sammy goes, Jersey Shore, 100%. Because he goes back there in the summertime.
Right, of course.
And I'm like, not the TV show, right? He goes, no, I don't care about the TV show. The Jersey Shore, being there. Like, he goes, I work out in the morning. I go to the beach. And I'm like, come on, cheesesteaks though. But like, they're staples.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. He goes, but he's so picky about his cheesesteaks. Matthias Samuelsson, he learned the right way. He goes, if I go somewhere and I don't know what they look like, I asked the waiter to show me what they're going to look like if they're going to bring it to somebody else or whatever.
Yep.
He's like, I love my cheesesteaks and they have to be a certain way because it has to be like back home. So I love Sammy, by the way. He's awesome. And he's just a little log rat around the locker room, right, for years.
He's not so little anymore, Marty. Not so little anymore.
He reminds me of Hatch in the way that he walks around. He's like big and slumpy, and he's just like, Hatch used to walk in the building like, hey, what's up, boys? And Sammy's like that, but he's funny. Oh my God, he's funny.
He's awesome. I got to see him this summer before he took off checking for charity. And I looked at him, I said, have you grown more? Like, I know I'm a midget, but holy cow.
Yeah,
man.
It seems like every time we see him.
Getting married this summer.
Yeah, I know.
I asked him, I said, are you going to do the casual thing? Like, everybody's dressed down. No dress code for games, no suits or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to do the casual thing. He goes, oh no, we're going black tie. We're doing it big. I'm like, that's because your fiance decided that we're doing black tie.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh man. I wanted to ask you, Marty, too, quickly about, trade rumors with if Buffalo, like you said, if Buffalo keeps winning, and it's so tight in the East.
Yeah,
you win they win 3 more games. They're probably in a playoff spot. The way it's everyone's positioned. But I was going to say, do you see any chance of them trading Dahlin or Tage Thompson at all?
No, I don't see that. The number one thing they have to figure out is Alex Tuch, right? He's going to be UFA at the end of the year. Yeah. And he has been a really, really big time player for this team. But now that everybody that was going to be UFA have kind of signed their tickets, Alex Tuch may be thinking, I could be the number 1 free agent on July 1.
Right.
And if I'm not getting the money I want, I could be getting it somewhere else. Now, there is some reports over the last week or so that suggest that Tuch may have been looking or may be looking for Adrian Kempe plus. And Kempe signed for $10.6 million on an 8-year deal. So is Alex Tuch at 10.7, almost $11 million player? I don't know, but the cap going up and the marketplace being that the top guys are going to get tons of money, and then whatever is left for the rest of them, like it's going to be, dude, I have $950 to give you, I have a 1.2 to give you. That's what it is. So it may be like I started the summer thinking Alex Tuch would be an $8 million guy, and now we're talking 10.5 plus. Yeah. Like that's where we're. So I think that's the number one thing for Jarmo Kekalainen, figuring that out. Then you can decide, okay, where do we go? Dahlin's not going anywhere. Thompson's not going to go anywhere. But there is other players, right? You have Jack Quinn, and you have Owen Power, and you have. Some other players that you may say, Bo Byram signed a short extension. Maybe that's so. I'm not creating, rumors right now. I'm just saying, if you don't win, teams are going to call on all the good players. And you have to field those calls. They're not calling you on fourth line guys. They're calling you on the top players. That's as simple as that.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Riles, if you had anything else, I was going to ask him one other thing about Buffalo, just of Alex Lyon, because he's a buddy of ours. He was actually on the show a few weeks ago, and how you think he's played coming in. Like he's 7-6-3, I think, and
he's way
I think
better than his record.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've watched you guys play a lot because I really like Al, and I think he's played well, and he had a big win last night against his former team. But
so let me ask you this: was he a high maintenance type of goalie, or was he a low maintenance guy?
No, he didn't ask for anything.
Yeah,
is he high maintenance now? Is he high maintenance?
He's not.
I was going to say because he never was.
Year from Vaughan to True, right? This year, that was a big change for him. But he said that's because my rep went from Vaughan to True. He goes, I wanted to stick with Vaughan, but my rep, the guy I trusted for all these years, he went to True. So I'm just going to stick with the guys I know and the guys I respect, and they know me. It's funny because we talked to him, and before he went to Yale, He's like, I didn't really have a goalie coach until I was like 19. And he goes, I had to learn to stop the puck. I didn't learn to butterfly slide. I didn't learn to plant an edge and push the other way. I learned to stop the puck. And then later, I learned all the technical elements. And when you watch him play, he's a puck stopper. He knows where his body needs to be, and he's very smart. Obviously, went to Yale, but he's also like in the way that he thinks the game, in the way that he understands his positioning and his role. And at the start of the year, he was the number one brighter spot of the team. The team wasn't doing good, but he was still the record wasn't great, but his goal save above expectation, his numbers were awesome. And then they had the 3 goalie rotation, and that really put him in a weird place. It would put me in a weird place. I did it a few times. It's awful. 3 goalies is awful. And now that they've given him the net again, he's played in, 5 straight, and tomorrow maybe his 4th consecutive start, but his 6th consecutive appearance, because he came in the 3rd period against the Flames. He had to relieve Colton Ellis, who was removed by the concussion spotter in Edmonton, and now he's had like all these starts. He's been fantastic. So I have nothing but good things about Alex Lyon. He's great.
Yeah, I had a chance to coach him down in the minors in Lehigh, and he was great. Like, you could tell that he was a student of the game, and you could tell that he cared, and he was just like looking for any crumb of information, any bit of edge he could get to just be better, a better version every single day. And we had him on again, like Nasty said a few weeks ago, and just like talking to him again, obviously, like fast forward how many years, how mature this guy has become, but he's the same guy, just analyzing almost everything and just the way he thinks and observes. I'm just so happy to see him have success, because these are the guys you root for, when you coach, is just the guys that are like students that really get it, like really coachable guys. And I just love to, see guys like that find their way.
No, he's great. And I think that he calms everybody down, because he's not chasing the game. He's not like diving all over the place. Everything is very straightforward. And I think that's a really good compliment for a goalie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of goalies, quickly, Brandon Bussi in Carolina, pretty good start. Not bad.
Very good start. Like, the thing with him, so he was in Boston. They didn't re-sign him. He signs in Florida. They don't even get to have him in Florida because Carolina takes him off waivers. But Carolina, with Kochetkov and Anderson, you've had injuries, you've had inconsistency. Yep. Like, let's give this guy a try, right? But again, it goes back to, so the Florida Panthers have this great goalie department, right? Roberto Luongo, Robbie Tallis, Roberto's brother as the AHL goalie coach, Francois Allaire as a consultant. They've been able to find guys to say, but they signed Brandon Bussi. Now they lost him because they had Tarasov and Bobrovsky. But even last year, finding Vitek Vanacek to come in and finish the year, right? And then, they had Montembeault, they had Drieger, they had Levi. They've always had a Spencer Knight. Like, they've always had like all these guys that to me, it's all about finding those goalies everywhere. And so they had Bussi, they lost him, but he's been, and like, if the playoffs were starting tomorrow, he'd probably start for the Carolina Hurricanes.
You would think
that's
so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's been unbelievable. Elvis caught me up on him because he follows all the goalies, and he was like, God, like, he's on fire. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't realize he was that hot. But
he's that hot. And I love those.
Is.
Like, and Washington's got 2 right-handed catching goalies now.
I know.
I would put an equipment manager in a thistle to have like gloves on the wrong side, like all these extra gloves, and they're on the wrong side.
Yeah, right. That's for sure. Oh man.
Anything else around the NHL that's jumping out to you?
Quinn Hughes.
Well, obviously, Colorado Avalanche are a wagon.
Yep.
Wow.
The Avalanche are a wagon. They're unbelievable. 2 regulation loss. Like the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s had 8 regulation loss one time, and that, like, I think Colorado could beat that. Like, that would be crazy if they get less than 10 regulation loss in the year. That would be unbelievable. So Colorado's a wagon, and they're the best team right now.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think of the Quinn Hughes trade?
I thought, like, when you look at Quinn Hughes, like, it's a quality player. Bill Guerin's got some big kahunas on him to be able to say, like, and go get Quinn Hughes. But like, Quinn Hughes is unbelievable. The Vancouver Canucks got a great return, like Rossi and Zeev Bouillon and a first-round pick. Great for Vancouver, but I mean, Bill Guerin bought out Parise, bought out Suter, signed Kaprizov, and now goes out and get Quinn Hughes. Like, that is some big moves for a GM to do.
Yeah,
he means business. He wants to win.
He does.
No joke.
Yeah, I know. He's making meatballs. That's what he's making. That's what he said when he got the call from the Vancouver Canucks that they were taking the deal. He had his hands in meatballs for the holidays.
Hey, Marty, real quick. I was in Long Island last week. I worked for his hockey company, Tovey Hockey, and I went to see some of the guys in Long Island, and Vegas was there, and I saw Tomas Hertl still has some red on his stick. And I had told Elvis about it. Remember he used to have that red stick, and Elvis reminded me that I told him one time, I was like, I don't like that Hertl. And I was kidding. I said, and he was like, why? I said, well, because he scored through his legs on Marty, and he said, all right, I'm done, boys. You know? So I said to Elvis when I got home, I said, Hertl still got some red on his stick, but it's only like from the, like halfway, like the bottom down. Yeah. But,
well, it was so funny enough. So our old PR guy with the Rangers, and then he was with Toronto, and John Rosasco, awesome. I love JR. He was great. And I remember I came off the ice and he was livid. He was like, they should have killed that guy. And this, and I'm like, why? I just got to make a save. Like, that was a great move. And he's like, I couldn't believe that you were fine with it. I'm like, I got to make a save. Like, when I watched that clip again, which has millions and millions of views on YouTube, I'm like, I look like a beer league goalie that was ready for retirement, and get me out of here. So, and then later that year, I was covering the Rangers with MSG, and I go to the morning skate, and Cass, the equipment manager in New York, was like, Marty, can you sign this? And it was one of my stick. And that was for Tomas Hertl. He wanted a stick signed for him, and then he brought it back home. So he's got my stick in his basement in back home, back in Europe. So good for him. But the young guys all have skills now. Like, I'm so happy I was part of that, because in 22, like, we're going to be 200 years down the road, and people are going to say, like, look at that move that Hertl did, right? Like, look at that Marek Malik move on Olaf Kolzig. Like,
I was going to say, that was the first time I saw it. I think the next time was with you. And I'm like, I don't know how you're going to stop that as a goalie. You're not expecting that, man. Like, I don't care what maybe it's more.
Would have been 2-pat stack, full pull check dive, and you're going to eat the crossbar, buddy. That's
exactly.
Yeah, true.
Whatever it takes to make the save.
Whatever it takes. I love it.
I tell you what, you could have been a promoter too, because I remember us being in Atlanta, feels like forever ago, and wanted to bring up Sawyer Boulton. I don't know if you've seen some of his highlights of his tilts, man. We had him on the show earlier in the year, back in April, I think, but I remember Eric Bolton was on the ice, and Riley was standing with me, and you came cruising out. And you're like, hey, Bolts, see this guy right here? He's going to fight you tonight, Riley. And he goes, and Bolts goes, I don't want to fight anybody. And Riley goes, I don't either, and I really don't want you setting them up.
It was going to be a sleeper night.
It was a quiet night, and I went in the room and I said, Don King.
Excitement. I know Bolts really well, and obviously Sawyer played with my kid for a year, and I love Sawyer and Ryder, and you know what's funny is Eric Boulton. He's tough. He is tough, and he did a great job playing all these years in the NHL. Got himself an NHL hat trick somehow when he was playing with Atlanta against the Devils, and I think 1 or 2 were on Brodeur, 1 was on Hedberg, whatnot. But Ryan, his wife, she's the tough one of the gang. She runs everybody's show. And I love Ryan. She's this Georgia, sweet, Southern girl, but she is tough. And so that's where the boys get it. They don't get it.
Yeah, oh, so good.
It's so funny. I went back in the room when you did that because I was laughing. I said, boys, Don King's out there. Marty's got his Don King hat on.
I probably
Yeah.
wasn't playing because Nitty always played against Atlanta and crushed it because they had, the
Yeah, the
Finnish
other
goal,
Finn. He never lost
Kari
against
Lehtinen
him.
and whatever.
Yeah,
So he had all the Finns. So Nitty was going to play. I was promoting that night.
yeah.
You were.
I think you
Yep.
ended up fighting.
I did have a fight that night. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought an off night, and then apparently not. So
Well, we got to go now. Marty set it up.
Yeah, exactly. Can't let Marty down.
I'll promote anything you want me to promote. There you go.
Oh man, great.
Man.
Well, we appreciate you, Marty.
Yeah, man. Thank you, buddy. I know you're
what?
busy.
I'm sorry the internet kind of been bugging out. I'm going to have to call my my provider and be yelling at them.
No 5G in Buffalo. Hey, no
5G in Buff.
I got enhanced professional, whatever, but we're getting wins, so maybe that's doing that. But anyway, guys, I love it. Love what you do. Riles, I'm gonna come down and see you in Philly or wherever. If you're on the road somewhere, let's get it done. Nasty, I'm sure I'll see you in the ring somewhere too.
Yeah,
that's great. But you guys are awesome, and I love it.
Oh, we love you, brother. Miss you, man.
You wait until they say we're clear before you say anything bad. You don't want to get anybody get in trouble over here.
That's right.
We don't need that.
That's right. Baller, are we clear?
Baller, we good? Still recording. Oh, man. Thank you, brother. We really appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See you, Marty. Take care. Happy holidays.